current COVID-19 pandemic has had a major effect on the music industry. There are a lot of unanswered questions like when will venues reopen, when will tours get rescheduled, and will there be any delays to album releases? I recently spoke with Kiley from Strung Out, and we discussed all of these things and more, including how the pandemic has affected Strung Out's current plans and what they have in store for the future.
Yeah, just saying that this year was a really busy year for us. We had all tours booked. We were in March, and we were going to go to Europe and Japan in June and July. We had a bunch of stuff, so that's all being pushed back. It was going to be postponed until later in the year, but it's probably not going to be till next year now that we're able to really do it. So just kind of waiting, as one run gets canceled, we just postpone it. We rebook it and then hope that those dates will stick. But it's really just guessing at this point. Who knows?
I mean, are you guys kind of staying in contact as far as like with the quarantine and the downtime, like writing new songs at all or anything like that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We're all very in touch and sending each other music and things like that, trying to get some new ideas. We're getting together in the next week or two to try to start jamming some new material. But we've just been kind of bouncing ideas to each other, sending texts and video clips and things like that of some ideas. So, yeah, just going to try to stay productive in the writing since we can't really do shows.
Are you guys able to actually get together yet, like in person or out in California, or is it all?
Well, they're starting to loosen it. This last week they opened up more businesses that you can go into, but they're still discouraging any sort of large gatherings. So we're going to just get together a couple of us at a time, maybe three of us at a time to work on some ideas, and then we'll send the ideas to our singer once we have the music worked out, and then he'll take it from there, and he'll probably come to practice once he gets some ideas going. So we'll still take the space that we need, but hopefully be productive whatever way we can.
While it initially seemed like plans for the band's 30th anniversary were in jeopardy, the band reached a consensus that 2021 will be just as good a year as 2020 to celebrate this milestone.
It actually works out fine because 2021 is really more true to being our 30th anniversary when you look at the dates of things. Like the band really formed in 91. So that's really more true. So next year, hopefully everything opens up a bit more and we can do some more actual full-size shows. Then we'll do probably a few anniversary shows, maybe even do some things, playing a couple songs off every record we've done or something, some old songs we haven't done in a long time. So yeah, we'll just try to make it kind of a fun thing. It would be fun to maybe do like a live record or something next year. Maybe honor the 30th anniversary of the band and, cover our whole catalog, kind of like a Live in a Dive recording, but hopefully we'll get a better sounding record, this time. So maybe we could do something like that. But then, who knows if shows are still clamped down, we'll just try to get like a full length album recorded over the next year and get that out next year. Everything we were going to do to support the last record is basically impossible. So yeah, it just changed everything. So no one knows really the right way to approach this. It's just, we're going to do some experimental things like, maybe some more streaming shows, maybe there'll be more bands doing like what Dropkick Murphys did on St. Paddy's Day, where they streamed that concert. Hopefully there'll be more things like that coming and more opportunities to, interact with the fans online at least. Yeah. It's also fun to just approach brand new ideas. Every day I'm kind of coming up with a few new riffs. The other guys are coming up with new stuff. So it's kind of fun to go in and just put something brand new down that you don't have any history trying to work on in the past. It's just a brand new piece. So we'll see, but we write so much music. Like when we get together, so much comes out of us. So there's always like an abundance of material. So we'll probably get a good 3 to 5 songs together in the next month or two, I think.
What is that creative process like with 4 guys kind of putting everything together?
Yeah, well, it can be too many cooks in the kitchen sometime, but it's also great because you have no shortage of ideas and no shortage of people to bounce that idea off. And it's cool. You just kind of have to respect each other's vision for the song. Like if Rob brings a song to the table, he's got an idea for it and a perspective on it that, to me, I'm just hearing it for the first time. So I want to honor his vision. I don't want to throw out a bunch of ideas right away and try to change it. I want to listen to what he's got and learn to play it the way he's got it. And then if there's some stuff that I'd like to put into it that I feel it could use, then I'll throw that in and we'll see if it works. And if it, as long as it's cool and everyone's cool with it. And then, in turn, I sort of expect the same respect with my songs. If I bring an arrangement to the table, let's work it out the way I have it planned. And then at the end of the day, let's try some different things with it. And especially if it's hitting a wall and it's just not really gelling. So we're all very, open to each other's ideas and supportive of each other contributing. And, it's a very collaborative thing.
Just like WMSE, the band has had a few signature beers produced. I couldn't pass up the opportunity to learn more about Strung Out's various beer releases.
Years back, we started getting it going with a brewery out here in Palmdale, California called Lucky Luke. And I got to know some of the guys there and they made some great stuff. So I was like, hey, let's just work on something that we could do that, a beer that we like. Let's create something that we are really hands-on with and that we would really enjoy drinking, because we're all pretty big beer drinkers in the band, at least 4/5 of us. So we got together with them, created like a golden ale style, kind of like a Stella, kind of like it's considered a Kolsch. So it's like a German style beer from Cologne. And it's really good. It's called the Astrolux Golden Ale, was that one. And it's done really well. People seem to really dig it. So we just recently did 2 more beers with Lucky Luke, and we have an IPA now. That's the Devotion IPA. Oh no, the Armor IPA. And then we have the Devotion Citrus Sweet Hefeweizen, which is the lighter of the 2, but they're both pretty heavy. Like this, the Hefe is 6.4%, the IPA is 8%. And then the Astrolux Golden Ale 6.1. So we've tried to keep them all pretty hefty as far as, the alcohol content, but absolutely very drinkable. And, we want it to be something that we really enjoy drinking. So I feel we got pretty deep into it with the guys and they produced something that we're super stoked on. And I think our fans are all, it's been really good responses so far. So yeah, check out Lucky Luke Brewing and the whole 3 beers that we've got. And then they have a ton of beers that they've done outside of us too.
As there is no clear answer on when large gatherings in the United States will once again resume, I asked Jake how he's approaching the situation, and he shared his thoughts on what it's like to be a musician in isolation.
When I look into your eyes, I wonder how the hell you got so far from under all the things.
Well, I don't think it's going to actually open up until there's a vaccine for this. Like, I can't see. I think our industry will be the last thing to come back online, any sort of gathering. So music, sporting events, any sort of concert, any sort of, public gatherings of any large sort, or even, we played 200, 300 seat rooms, and that's a small little space with a bunch of people crammed together. So it might not be 1,000 people, but it's crammed together. So I just can't see any of that really coming back until there's some sort of vaccine or at least some major advancement in treatment where it can be treated and people aren't going to be dropping dead and the threat of the getting it, it's so contagious, the threat of that contagion, you can pass it on so easily. So there's no way to stop it. So I just can't see the social distancing really easing up much until there is some sort of vaccine. So I don't think, we're, like I said, we're rebooking everything as it gets postponed. We set up new dates, but no one's expecting any of these dates to really hold at this point, just because it seems like nothing's really coming. Nothing's going to happen. Maybe some countries will open up sooner. Like maybe we can tour Canada before we can tour the States. Maybe we can tour Europe before we tour Japan again. I don't know, but we'll take it as it comes. But as it is now, I don't think any of us are going to be going to concerts until probably next spring at the earliest, unless some crazy miraculous thing happens. But it just seems like by all accounts and by all scientific measures, it's going to take till next spring, maybe next summer. So,
right.
So, it's going to be interesting. This is how we all come out of this is how you're going to I think how you behave during this is how you're going to come out of it. So I'm just really trying to like not slip up on my playing. I'm trying to really stay focused and positive. And, you know, if you get depressed right now and you put your music away and put your instrument down for 6 months to a year, you may not be able to get back into it. Like, you know, so we're just trying to keep the ball moving and not get too much rust on us during this time. But I think a lot of bands are going to come out of this just shredding because they're just wood shopping and just work at home and drilling themselves. At least that's what I'm doing. So I can tell you I'm going to come out of this an enhanced guitar player from the time off. Yeah. I hope everyone does. You know, I hope they enhance themselves. But you know, it's hard not to get super bummed out and get self-destructive during these times. You know, just got to keep your head up and try to look forward to things getting better.
As we wrap up our conversation, I asked Jake what he thinks the fan response will be like when concerts can once again safely resume. And as you'll hear, he and the rest of Strung Out are incredibly optimistic.
It's going to be interesting to see because all the touring in the world is dealing with this. So we're all just rebooking and hoping. And someone's going to get it right. Okay. Some tour is going to get rebooked and it's going to line up. That is going to be like the perfect storm, like gnarly tour. And who knows who it's going to be, you know, who knows what band is going to book that tour that it hits at the right time, you know, and because as soon as it clears, everyone's going to want to start playing shows like immediately, you know, it's going to be like a just tsunami of events. And you don't want it to be too much that everyone's like overwhelmed by and no one knows what shows to go to because everyone's trying to play on the same weekend or something.
Right.
But yeah, dude, it's so unknown. It's like such an unknown. So, but it's going to line up with somebody, you know, there's going to be one tour where this happens and that is the tour that brings it back. And you're right, dude, it's going to be intense. It's going to be huge. And I think numbers are going to be up for bands. I think more people are going to be coming out. And, you know, if you drew 300 people, 400 people on average, you might be drawing 700, 800 people next time because everyone's going to be so excited to go see shows again. So it could be good in that regard. Like, you know, the tours we had lined up, yeah, the support for them, we're all in the same boat. So they're all being rebooked as the same package it was. And unless a band decides they're breaking up or someone unfortunately passes away or something, I think everyone's just going to just hold to their packages, hold to the tours that are already. I mean, we have shows that are sold out right now that we were supposed to play like last week. And we haven't refunded tickets. Like, I think they're all just to be honored. And if people want their money back, absolutely. But as of now, they're just going to be honored at the next show. But we have sold out shows waiting for us. Like, it's weird. And so I don't know when things open up. Are we going to play those same shows sold out at what the capacity they were? Or are we going to try to play them in bigger rooms now and get more people to come because there's going to be more demand for music in general? I think we don't know. You know, and so the other bands we're all sitting waiting. You know, we have so much money in guarantees just sitting collected by our booking agent that's just sitting there as deposits that we can't get into. No one can get into them, but the money is there, but we can't get into that money because we need to play the show to really, you don't want to take that money without playing the show. You know, it's a deposit. So it's sitting there and it's a weird thing, dude.
Do you guys have a pretty big road crew that kind of depends on you guys being on the road, or do you guys keep it pretty lean? We keep it
pretty close to, like, you know, we bring like 3 or 4 guys out and, you know, but at the same time, they're not just dependent on us. They're dudes that do other things on their off time, whether that's touring with other bands or working, you know, jobs at home. So it's a little bit of a mix, but yeah, everyone's pretty much, you know, everyone's bummed the work went away from the touring, but I guess everyone's just kind of doing their thing to pull. But, you know, if we have some extra money coming in, we put out a quarantine t-shirt, just a funny t-shirt to sell on our online store. And, you know, that's raising some money that we can give our crew some money out of that. We can pay some bills out of that and just pay for like our jam room and pay for our van insurance, you know, not even putting in our pockets just to try to pay these expenses that are still there. So, you know, yeah, it's hard on everybody. It's hard on the crews. It's hard on the artists. You know, I can't complain. I don't have the worst situation, but it's still frustrating, man. You still want to do what you do. We're just stoked to get to do it. We're stoked people come out to it, that people are, you know, fans and support what we do. And we're just trying our best to live up to you guys. So thank you. And we'll be back out there as soon as we can. Trust us.